Hi, my name is Jayne, and I had COVID.
Oy vey.
I am 53 years old and I don't have any underlying health conditions. The only condition I have is IBS. I actually made a video about it. I'll link it right up here. But other than that, I'm pretty much healthy. I'm not on any medication. I don't have a broken down immune system. I work out every day. I eat right. I just happened to travel to Atlanta, and I feel like that I got it while I was traveling. And I think that the bathrooms maybe in the airport weren't clean, even though I washed my hands, or maybe where I was staying. I really have no idea. The second thing that I think, or my stepdaughter thinks, is that I like to eat with my hands. I like to eat finger foods. And when I first landed in Atlanta, I had chicken wings. It's a possibility I didn't wash my hands good enough. Another thing that I think is that I was there on business. I was in a showroom, and this one particular showroom was very crowded, and I did remove myself, but I was there at one point in time, so it could have been there. It could have been anywhere. I know I got it while traveling because someone else in my group got it. She thinks she got it from her baby, who got it from her father, who was watching her baby while she was gone. But I think with the timeline, I think she pretty much got it when I got it. I could be wrong. I tried to avoid my husband getting it, but he eventually got it. I got hit the hardest, and I think it's because I am 53. The other two people, including my husband, are below 50. I do think age is a big factor on how your body is going to react to it. So I'm going to give you my timeline, my symptoms, and what I did to make myself better. On the weekend of my trip, my IBS acted up. When I get my IBS, I go to the bathroom a lot. I don't have diarrhea, I just go to the bathroom a lot. I was drinking and eating bad food. The next day, I felt better. It was the day we had to leave, actually. I got on the plane, I felt fine, no fever, no cough, no sickness. My stomach was better. I felt great. I felt really great. Got home, unpacked. I was pretty much normal, except a little tired from my trip, but other than that, I was totally fine. The next day I was off from work and I felt really lethargic, and I just chalked it up to jet lag. The day progressed and I started to feel worse. I started to get a lower back pain and stabbing pains in my stomach. And the stabbing pains in my stomach are not like the pains I get when I have IBS. It was very different. It really hurt. But I still chalked that up to IBS. I figured, again, I ate bad. It's probably lingering. I didn't have diarrhea at this point, so I just went on with my day. Later that night, when I was in bed, I started to get really, really sharp pains in my stomach, to the point that I was wincing. And excuse me, I still have this cough. My husband thought I really needed to go to the ER. We thought that maybe I had appendicitis or I had a kidney stone. I was in a lot of pain. I've never felt pain like this before, so we went to the ER room. As soon as we got to the ER room, they considered anybody who walked into the door a COVID candidate. They made me separate from my husband. He had to wait outside. They were gonna give me a COVID test, a CAT scan to see my stomach area, and blood work. I was isolated because, again, it could have been COVID, although I didn't even think so because I wasn't coughing, I had no fever, it was just my stomach. And the first thing they did was give me a COVID test. And they did the one where they stick it so far up into your brain. I had a COVID test prior to that, but it did not feel like this. This was like the real deal. So then they drew blood, which I'm very bad with, and I almost fainted. It happens every time. I don't know why. They took a lot of vials. They wanted to test. And then lastly, they made me drink the drink to take the CAT scan. That took an hour. Then I had to wait for the CAT scan. Got the CAT scan, waited another hour. All in all, I was there for 6 hours. So the CAT scan came out fine. My blood work was great, including my liver, which was shocking because I drank a lot of wine the last 2 months prior. My COVID test came back positive. The doctor actually said to me that he was seeing a lot of cases of people coming in with stomach problems versus a fever and a cough. I was kind of shocked because, again, no fever, no cough, no nothing. Like, I just had stomach pains and lower back pain. The lower back pain might have been unrelated. I don't know. To this day, I have no idea. So I went home and I just slept, because when I went to the ER, it was about 3 in the morning. My husband and I are lucky enough that we were able to sleep in separate bedrooms and have separate bathrooms. When I came downstairs to the kitchen to get something, I wore a mask and I wore gloves. I used self-tanner, so I had a lot of latex gloves, and I just disposed of them every time I used them. I progressively felt worse. I started to feel feverish, and then I got diarrhea. I felt really crappy. About 2 days later, my husband started to feel feverish and he started to cough, so we realized he got it, but he didn't have the diarrhea yet. He didn't feel as bad as me. I took all the strength I had to take a shower. I felt kind of better. I took my dog for a walk. Aside from the diarrhea and, the fever coming and going, I felt okay. And then all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt like crap. I could not get rid of the fever. I had to take Tylenol every 6 hours. My doctor told me to take Tylenol versus ibuprofen, and I'm glad, because it really worked. The diarrhea just kept going. I did not lose my appetite, which is shocking, and I didn't lose my taste or smell. I just could not get warm. I didn't get hot at all. I didn't get like that fever where you get hot. I just could not get warm. It was constantly chills. I don't know what I would have done without my dog. Every time I was not feeling well and couldn't get warm, she would come over to me. It was almost like she knew I was cold. She was always like curled up next to me, and I thank God for that. My husband stayed pretty status quo. I mean, he felt tired and he had a little bit of a cough and a fever, but like not as bad as me. I just really thought that I would never get better, and then the cough came. I got the cough so bad that I would cough so much and so hard that I almost vomited. And I don't really vomit a lot, and I really felt like I was gonna just vomit my whole insides. I coughed so much that I pulled a muscle in my stomach. It hurt so bad. I felt it in my sides and in my lower stomach. And this went on for like another week. And all I did was cry, because I felt like I could never get better. And if I started to feel better a little bit, it was during the day, and then like 4 or 5 o'clock would hit, and my husband would always tease because he felt the same way. Like that 4 or 5 o'clock hour would hit, and we would feel awful. I really didn't start to feel better until exactly 2 weeks later. It was just really, really bad for me. I would say I had moderate symptoms when I looked them up. Mild, it's like nothing. Moderate is what I had, because I didn't have to go to the hospital. We checked my oxygen, and my oxygen was fine. It's just I had fevers that went up to about 101.5, 102. Sometimes it wouldn't be that bad, but most of the times that's where it was. I felt like my whole body was so achy. I felt I had restless leg syndrome a lot. I couldn't sleep. Someone had suggested I take melatonin, which helped a little bit. Melatonin is also studied to help prevent COVID. I don't know if that's true, but it did help me sleep. Another symptom I had, which was very odd, kind of gross, I felt always stuffed up in my nose, and every time I blew my nose, I had boogies, like not mucus, but boogies. And sometimes they would be bloody. And then 5 minutes later, I'd have to blow my nose again, and more boogies came. It's like I constantly had boogies. I constantly had like a dryness and just boogies all the time, bloody boogies. It stopped, but it was really bad. Like I just felt like I could never get my nose clean. And although I didn't lose my sense of taste and smell, the one thing is when I had coffee in the morning, which was only a few mornings, I didn't even want it. Every time I took my first sip, it just had a really nasty taste. And I don't know if it was because of the boogies and the stuffiness, but that first morning coffee, that first sip, it made me want to vomit. One of the weirdest things that happened while I had COVID was I use a nightly mouthwash with fluoride in it. I have really bad enamel erosion, so I take that every night. And I would try to take it, and my mouth would burn like it was on fire. It was so bad as soon as it even touched my lips. But now that I'm better, it's fine. But while I had it, it was like you might as well threw a flame into my mouth. Here are some of the things I did to make myself feel better. You know, I told you about the Tylenol. That definitely helped, but I didn't want to rely on it too much because too much Tylenol is not good. I took a lot of zinc, 50 milligrams. You're only supposed to take 50 to 100. I took the 50. I also took D3. I use the vegan D3 because I do not consume pork or red meat. I also ate a lot of Airborne for the vitamin C. I also drank that drink Emergency a lot. I have none left, but I drank it like every day. I also have a concoction that I make when I am sick, and it really, really helped me. You take some apple cider vinegar, and it has to be the Bragg's brand. This brand is the best. It's very pure. It works miracles. A lot of people take it for diets. They take it for their health. You put about a teaspoon of this in any kind of tea. I use the echinacea tea because, you know, it has medicinal qualities for when you have a cold or a flu. You mix that with a little bit of lemon juice, about a teaspoon of honey, and then you add cayenne pepper. And I used a lot of cayenne pepper. I find that cayenne pepper really helped with my coughing. I don't know if you can hack it or not, but if you can, definitely go heavy on the cayenne pepper, and it also helps the acidity from the apple cider vinegar from being too strong. A lot of people can't handle it. If you can't handle a teaspoon, do half a teaspoon at first and then just keep doing it. I'm convinced that drink helped my cough, even though I still have it. It's about 2.5 weeks and I still have this cough. I am going to double mask. I am going to be more aware of washing my hands. I am going to be more aware of being in an indoor place with a lot of people, and I work in retail 3 days a week, so I have to be really careful. I cannot stress enough that, you know, this is real. It's not made up. You got to be really careful, especially if you're over 50. You know, it's no joke. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get rid of this cough. I don't know when I'm going to feel 100% better. Even though I feel a lot better, I still get tired. I still get a little winded at times. I mean, I definitely can shower now without a problem. I can go up my steps without a problem. I believe that this is another strain that hits your belly and hits you harder. I think there's going to be a lot of different strains in the next year or so. I can't get the vaccine for another 3 to 6 months because if you've already had it and you have the antibodies, say you have the antibodies, I don't even know if that's true. I don't even think that they're lying. I don't think that they really know enough. It really hasn't been a full year yet of this at the time of recording this segment. I can't get the vaccine for another 3 to 6 months. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm on the fence. I just know that I do not want to get this again. If you can avoid it, avoid it. It's no joke. So stay well, wash your hands, and be healthy.